What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Life of CLETUS. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about John Hamm, the founder and owner of PopPriceGuide.com, the #1 website that we all use for our Funko products. He recently sold his website to HobbyDB.com, the world's fastest growing collectibles database website. Before we get into it, let's actually figure out why John Hamm has created this website. Years prior to PPG, I had a vision of a collecting website for higher end stuff like figures and statues done by Sideshow Collectibles, Hot Toys, etc. I had the framework more or less worked out. Then after I started collecting Funko and with some community input, I decided to set up PPG under the same format. I had some great volunteers to get us started and who continue to help us this very day. And PPG far exceeds my expectations I have ever had. There you go. He wanted to make an inventory tracker and a marketplace for higher end items and collectibles. He had everything figured out, ready to go, but he started collecting Funko Pops and he decided that there was no market in place for it, so he decided to make Pop Price Guide. Alright guys, so I've been going around for the past few weeks getting information about this particular topic, and I wanted to share with you guys what is in place with the Pop Price Guide website, and it may or may not be influenced by another market. I also want to add that you should not just trust one website like Pop Price Guide. You should use Popspedia, you should use the Coverly app, you should use latest recent sales on eBay and what is now listed as the least priced item of that particular item on eBay.com. So let's get into it right now. John Hamm, the 1998 computer science graduate from the University of Kansas, has stepped away from the website Pop Price Guide. He has stated in a recent post what has taken place in the last couple of weeks. On February 1st, John Hamm had stated in a local Facebook group, "I founded PPG back in 2014. Sadly, yesterday I found myself officially making the decision to completely step away from Pop Price Guide and HobbyDB, the company that bought us. The decision to step away completely was influenced by being removed from all things Pop Price Guide and many other factors." That was a statement by John Hamm on a Facebook group. John left a few comments on there that I'll read out. People asked him why he was removed, what happened, how come this has happened. He stated that it's a long, complicated story. Short of it is that they didn't want me working on PPG anymore. People asked, nothing pisses me off more than seeing somebody who had a dream taken away from him, and that was the end of it. He writes, "In all fairness, I willingly sold." He sold them this site. "Worst decision of my life, but I can't take it back now. And again, it was my decision to step away completely." He goes on and says that yes, he did sell the site. When he said $1 million, he laughed. In my opinion, if he sold it for $500,000 or even if he sold it on the low end at $250,000, he sold it under market. That would be the minimum that he would sold it for. This website was supposed to be a volunteer website, so it's kind of, conflicting to see that this man went out there, he sold the website even though he had volunteers working on it for that particular price. I believe the admins are still working on the site. He does make a statement of that. Let's get to it. When everybody asks what's going on with the website after you leave, he writes, "Everyone, I just want to make sure some things are clear. Nothing is changing with Pop Price Guide besides from me not being involved. It's still the same great resource. Nothing is changing in the pricing. Work is still being done on it. Seriously, it's still the same great resource it was yesterday." I did see a comment afterwards that was conflicting with that actual comment itself. "PPG is still around even if I'm not. Don't be too ready to abandon ship just yet." Like I said, that comment is conflicting. I don't know what to take from it. I'm going to leave it to you guys in the comment section. He then stated that he wasn't completely forced out. They wanted me to work on other things than Pop Price Guide. I still could have had a role in the company. I just choose to move a different direction. So in my opinion, what happened was John Hamm sold the website to hobbydb.com for whatever price, and in that contract agreement it would state that he would then be able to work at hobbydb.com, but it won't be Pop Price Guide related. They do have 7 other items on their page for a marketplace, so I'm guessing they hired him telling him he would work for them, but they didn't say Pop Price Guide related, which was very interesting. Once he found out that he's not going to be no longer working for Pop Price Guide anymore, he then decided to pack up all his things and head out. After all that madness, people were sharing all this information. I know a lot of us always have said that PPG's broken, PPG's this, PPG's that, but in his matter, he's probably absolutely correct about what he writes here, and I'm going to leave it right now. Let's go. Because this post is a pretty dirty post, I'm going to skip some of the stuff and just go to some of the stuff that's important out of this. You're not the ones who built one of the most visited collecting sites in the world. 500,000 unique visitors visited PPG each month. What have you done that's successful or had the kind of impact on the community? Anything? I did. Even if I am no longer involved, I go to sleep every night proud of the fact that I did something that people give a shit about. That was one of his posts responding to all the people who shared the post, who were being disrespectful, and he was pretty much telling the truth. Everybody has always said something negative about their site, so he was just telling you guys exactly how it is, and I give it to him for that, because he's telling the actual truth about that, which is very important to get out your last words before you step away. That post was then shut down. So what we're going to do now is go into hobbydb.com, the world's largest growing collectible database website, see what they're about, see how they control everything, and see if it's going to be a good thing for us in the future. HobbyDB is building a giant database of every collectible ever made, from die-cast cards to action figures to comic books to corkscrews. That means you can quickly and easily find everything made by Mattel, Markin, Matchbox, or you can find everyday models of Ford Thunderbird, Harley Davidson motorcycle, or a Airbus jet. You can even find a manual for your vintage car, something that has Coca-Cola logo, has a World War II theme, or is related to your favorite TV show or fictional character, or movie star, whether that's Star Wars or James Bond or Bob Hope. It's also more than just a place to research and browse. The database powers a collection management system where users can upload images and record data about their own collectibles to keep track on them. There is also a marketplace where users can list their items for sale with just a few clicks. It's a whole collectible ecosystem. So this website's trying to become the website that everybody uses for their world-renowned collectibles. You would use this site for everything in your collectibles. Is that a great feature? Absolutely. But is it going to be better than our Pop Price Guide website that we currently use? Is this going to be the better site to use? In my opinion, no. Why? As you open the website, you can see that there's 7 other collectibles that you can use for this database. Reason I don't like this is just like, think of like an MMA fighter versus a boxer in a boxing match. This website has 8 different other collectible items, plus many more coming. With that, they're gonna have more items that they have to focus on than one specific one, like Pop Price Guide does with their Funko products. So I used Boxing M&A for one particular reason. In boxing, you focused on one thing, one goal, one focus. You try to get really good at boxing. While in MMA, you use jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, judo, wrestling, ground and pound, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, everything you could possibly think of. So if you took that MMA fighter and put him in a boxing ring, the boxer is going to win. Why? Because he works on one particular style, and that's boxing. So in a boxing ring, he wins. In an MMA fight, he possibly will lose because he doesn't know all those other surroundings that he needs for that particular fight. And that goes with our Pop Price Guide and HobbyDB collectibles. Pop Price Guide has always been used as the #1 site. So this website over here is collecting market for everyone, which is a problem. It's not going to be more specific to one particular item as it is right now with Pop Price Guide, which is going to be a big problem because there's going to be multiples and multiples and multiples of different sites working with this particular website. All these collectibles now don't have one featured database. The only thing that could possibly be said is if this HobbyDB is paying Pop Price Guide and other individual sites like Bricklink, Hot Wheels, are they paying other sites, or are they having volunteers work on these other sites that are specifically for that individual item? I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Just the fact that you heard me say that John Hamm sold the site for not $1 million, but it's definitely worth $250,000. I think that would be completely the wrong way to work. So I'm going to finish this up with one last line that John Hamm said about Pop Price Guide and the fact, again, why you shouldn't just use Pop Price Guide in general. How Pop Price Guide actually works, and he actually writes a clarification of this in a post back in October 16, 2017. I received an email asking for clarification of some things that are being said in groups about how PPG handles damaged items, autographs, etc. That, and given that I'm seeing more people saying that PPG is an average, I thought I'd post my reply here. I know a lot of you might know this already, but for anyone that's new, this might be helpful. Regarding how we value things, we start by pulling in all Funko sales from eBay. That is usually around 3,000 sales per day, so needless to say, there's a lot of work that goes along with it. Our volunteers go through the listings, which are pre-assigned in a way, but not actually posted to the item itself. The volunteers make sure everything is assigned correctly, pick the correct item if not, and also checks to ensure that you're not including anything that shouldn't be there. We exclude autographs, custom, prototypes, lots, and anything that has something else included with it. Buy this pop, get an action figure, for instance. We also try to exclude anything with damage, at least anything more than the general shelf wear. We can be a little more lenient on items for which we have very few price points, as having a price point with a slight ding is better than having no price point at all. We'll say that sometimes incorrect items slip through, get assigned to the wrong place, damage isn't described, etc. We're humans, we all make mistakes. For this, we have a report button on which individual listings any registered member can report a listing that appears to be incorrect and that they think should be removed. Unfortunately, that feature has been a little wonky lately, but my plans are to completely rework that in the next couple of days. But we can always be emailed directly via contact with any other errors. I will say this, I know this particularly, and this is why you should not use just Pop Price Guide in general. Yes, as he stated, there is about 3,000 sales per day that they go through. That is a lot of sales, that's a lot of stuff. But I remember seeing a Reddit post that I got from an admin over a year ago saying that they are 30 days behind them, behind the actual sales. So even though they do 3,000 sales per day, they are 30 days behind that, and this was over a year ago. I don't know how much further it is till today. It could be less than 30 or it could be even more than 30. The problem with that is that they can't get to the sales quick enough, while other sites like Popspedia does have more recent and updated sales, while Pop Price Guide is behind. Another big factor that I personally take is the fact that the report button takes them 30 days sometimes to actually remove it. When an item, it gets sold on their site for less than it's supposed to be, say it's a $600 item selling for $200, that then gets added to the system, it calculates its average, and that drops the price drastically, which will then drop the average of that $600 pop to to, who knows, $200 to $300. That is a huge problem when you're dealing with higher end stuff. If I have a $1,000 pop that is now getting sold at $200 multiple times, and then I write a report and it takes 30 days for them to communicate and take that down. That happened to me once before with the glow-in-the-dark White Ranger, and I would hate for that to happen again to any of you guys. So yes, write the report, but it takes them 30 days to actually get that to work. Now, moving forward, as I stated in the beginning of this video, don't use just one site. Don't use just poppriceguide.com. Use Popspedia, use Coverly app. You can also use the latest sales on eBay and the lowest listed item on ebay.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts of this particular matter in the comments section below, and we'll see you here next time on Life of CLETUS. Boom!